Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you're doing well today. I'm so excited to be going live with you all and sharing a couple of helpful tips. In fact, it's a lot more than a couple of helpful tips. So I would actually recommend you maybe grab a piece of paper and a pen because it would probably be helpful for you and for your small business to go ahead and take some notes, even if you work for a larger company and even if you are a solopreneur at this point in time and you're sort of tackling all of this on your own. I understand, and some of the things that I'm going to share today are going to be really helpful. So first of all, thank you so much to everyone congratulating me on my new role as the Vice President of Branding at Soul Center Annie Lieb LLC, which is becoming Soul Center C Corp, and she's working on the administrative side of things as we speak. So many of you are new to my network from Annie, so I just wanted to say thank you, and it's been a true dream. So I'm really excited to share with you all some of what I will be doing with the company. And so let's go ahead and get right into it. I know that everyone's got a busy Wednesday today, and let's go ahead and start. So to begin, I'm going to be covering the art of creative branding. And so I thought the best way for me to do that really is to show you what my brand book looks like. And this presentation has a little bit of that, as well as some other things that are catered directly toward you and your small business. Let's go ahead and get started. So I am Karina Dorothy Crail. They call me CDK. They're interchangeable. I'm a Renaissance neo-surrealist. I own my own creative agency, and of my artistry, I am avant-garde, which means I do things before they are deemed as the norm. I'm a provocateur, so I sort of am provocative in ways of being thought-provoking and in ways of sort of making you take a step back and look at something. And the third is that I'm a surrealist, so you might need to look at something 2 or 3, 4 times to be able to see all of the elements that are a part of the creation. And that's part of what I do. So that translates to branding in this way. When I hand you my Brazen Brand Book, it first says, ciao. Thank you for creating with art by CDK LLC. We have brazen guidelines. Please take some time to be present and familiarize yourself with our creation. Then you can go on and see it. I have different colors for my corporation. So I've got the primary color, secondary color, accent color, and I have the proportions mapped out. So remember, this is what I hand to anyone who is doing any kind of design work for my brand, whether it's internal or external. I'll talk about that a little bit more. All of those numbers that you see listed there, those are the exact color codes. So they will never be the wrong color red. It will never be a little bit gray. It will always be the CDK black, white, and red. My primary logo, which you can see pretty much everywhere. I have it on my dress today. I have it on this water bottle. And then the simplified logo, which you probably also see everywhere. In fact, it's even tattooed on me. So just to show y'all, I'm committed, okay? The typeface, I've got 2 main fonts or types. I've got Railway and Cardo. This is the logo treatment. So you can see this is how I have the primary use of the logo, what to do if it's overlaid on an image, what to do when it's a white burn-in for a video, and then all of the things you should always avoid in using my logo. I don't want this weird shadow. I don't want someone to skew the proportions of it. I don't want it on too busy of a background, etc. The considerations. So I want to avoid my logo, my name, to ever be on something disposable. Karina Dorothy Crail CDK is something to be cherished. We don't want to put it on something that's going to be easily discarded. I don't want to put it on something that's going to be walked on or something that you're going to have be destroyed. That's just not on brand. It's part of the guidelines, and it is something that we always want to have as a consideration. So I have a question for you, and if it makes your heart sink, it's okay, because I'm with you. But is consistent branding a pain point for your small business? If it is, here's the tea. You're not alone. You're really not. In fact, the truth is that a lot of companies, Fortune 500 companies, have struggled with this. And so that is why having this internal marketing packet is so important. This is something you don't want to cut corners on. Your branding is the life of your company. Your company actually needs a Style Brazen Brand Book, okay? You have to have it compiled for the people that you're working with, whether it's a press release or it's someone who's, for example, redesigning your website. It's really important that they have an understanding of what you want and, more importantly, what you do not want. So, if you're still asking yourself what the heck is a Style Brazen Brand Book, let me break it down really, really well. It's an internal marketing packet. It enables brands to become household names. Netflix, Spotify, Airbnb, American Red Cross, Mailchimp. These are just a few examples of brands that all wisely invested in brand books in order to scale. So that's a really crucial part that I don't want to just gloss over. If you are looking to scale your company, you have to have one of these. You just do. Now, as for me, I bring character, vitality, energy, life. I meditate and ideate and create. I bring concepts to fruition artistically. I bring a story to life. I also am aware, and I want to give you as much value as possible, because the reality is I won't be designing every single one of your Brazen Brand books. I'm at a point where, and I'm honored and humbled that I'm only selecting 5 people to work with. I already have one that is about to sign contract. So there are 4 brands that I'm eligible to work with at this time, because that's my choice. I want to leave enough time for the fine art and the things that I have an equal passion for. And those brands are going to be aligned with my values. They're brands that I'm going to sit down with and talk about what are their values and really excavate that and be able to create it into something that's packageable and able to live on forever. And that's the most important thing. When you're working with me, it's important to know that I create art that lives on far beyond any of us. Don't you want that for your company? It's your creative compass. You can guide your business with this. It shows your image, your visuals, your voice, your tone. Okay, I'm going to go over some more of the deliverables of what you get when you work specifically with me, but here are several to name a few. All right, and then the Style Brazen Brand Book, I've got 3 main ones, and I'm going to go deeper into this, but just know that I will do just the editorial, which is all language-based things. I'll do just visual, which is all aesthetic-based things, and then the combo package, which really is the most smart decision for a brand to make, because I mean, you're going to need both in the long run, and you'll save money, which I'm going to cover in just a moment as well. But my question to you is, where are you at with your branding? Like, really sit with yourself and ask yourself, do you know what you want? Do you at least know what you don't want? These are the kinds of questions that are really important to have answers to. Branding is the foundation of your company, and you should not by any means cut corners, okay? So That's the presentation so far. I want to go ahead and take a look at the chat and let's see what anyone might have to say. So thank you, Robert, for saying this is awesome. Break it down. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Break it down. Break it down. So let's see. Ariel, you've always got some amazing things to say. Let's see what this says. Being an avant-garde branding professional, how do you taper that down for a mom and pop plain brown bag company, or would you try to talk to them into being bolder? This is a really cool question. I wouldn't try to talk them into anything. That's if they're plain brown bag paper company. I said that wrong. They're a plain brown bag company, mom and pop shop. That's awesome. That doesn't align with me. So I'm not going to do the design for them. It's just like as simple as that. Like I said, I'm very, very selective with who I'm working with because it needs to be someone who's authentically going to benefit from what I have to offer. And I'm never going to try to sell someone something that they don't really need. I will sit down and explain XYZ PDQ MOUSC, all the reasons why a specific person who I know can benefit from what I have to offer, why they should work with me. But in my experience, I don't really have to convince them or urge them to be anything that they're not, because it's aligned. If it's aligned, it's aligned. If it's not, it's not. So me being avant-garde in my branding, I would only ever work with someone who is specifically looking for that, where it makes sense. Like, for example, who I'm working with as the VP of branding, Soul Center, what we are doing, because I'm also an intuitive coach with them, what we do is extremely avant-garde. Like, not many corporate companies right now have soul-centered coaching available for their executives. That's the contract that we have at Soul Center, and that's what we do. That's pretty avant-garde. We align in that way. So it makes sense for the branding that I'm going to be developing to match that, because it's something that is really new. Like, it's going to be a very regular thing, having mental health services, having soul-based services for corporations and companies. It's not quite there yet, so it's considered avant-garde. That's why I'm the perfect person to be doing their branding. For other soul-based organizations or people who are building out curriculums that have to do with creation, fine art galleries that are trying to transfer over to the digital world. These are people that are going to want to work with me because we are going to match up. That's such a good question. And honestly, Ariel, if someone approaches me for mom and pop and that's something you're interested in, I'm going to send them to you, because sending a referral is always going to look good, not only on you, but if you refer them to someone that they love and that they end up working with and having such an amazing time with the whole way through, it's just a win-win-win for everybody involved. So really quickly, I'm going to pull up my deliverables and have you all take a look at that before I go into them in depth. And I want you to be able to really sit with it and take a look at what I'm looking at. All right, now you've got that pulled up. Perfect. Take a look at this. In fact, I'm going to go off the screen just so that you can take a look at it extra in depth. Hold on one. All right. So just for the dramatic effect, because, that's my style. Now, anywho, these are all the deliverables that you're going to have when working with me. So I'll cover the name. I'll write out when we're referencing. I'll do the logo type suite, the treatment considerations and things to avoid, typography, your font, your size, etc. Corporate colors, any accent colors, proportions, and then of course the primary, neutral, and secondary colors. Your brand philosophy. What's your tone of voice? And I'll show you exactly what I mean in my Brazen Brand book, okay? The brand assets. What kind of photography might you use? What kind of iconography, illustration, composition, and then finally, of course, language. Words that we do like, words we do not like. So let's go over some Fortune 500 examples. We've got Mailchimp has their brand assets in their name. Netflix has their treatment, avoiding considerations. Typography here is a small design business that's got theirs and their simplified logo. A lot of this is looking familiar because I showed you mine, right? But here's some interesting things to focus on. The brand philosophy. So we are a company that aims to provide you ... What is it? You know, like these are important things to know. These are some examples of brand assets. We've got textures, we've got imagery. This is for an airline, so it makes a lot of sense for them to show the lobby and what you might look at overlooking the skyline when you're flying with this specific airline. Then likes and dislikes about name. And then I want to show you what that looks like translated to my brand, right? So I've shown you all of this. I know I'm going really fast, but I want to talk about my tone of voice. So the tone of voice for my company is loving, kind, cool, confident, bold, shameless, unapologetic, truthful. Okay, truthful is so important to me. Transformational, solutionary, visionary, whimsical, colorful, radiant, bright, full of grit, high frequency in being. Okay, those are really, really important, especially packaged all together. There's no comment on the internet that can come my way that I would speak anything but all of these adjectives, or anyone working with me for that matter. They all know how to behave and how to respond to something, even if it's hate. We always respond with love, always. Brand assets, these are some examples. You probably have seen this design in a lot of places. These are I've got always the third eye, and the eyes and the lips, the red lipstick. It's not a mistake. I wear the red lipstick as a part of being on brand. I also love wearing a red lip. It's just chic, okay? It's cute. Anywho, this is one of my virtual reality assets, and you can see that I've got a lot of different things that I include, and I use them with repetition to create something consistently. And that's the key, consistency. It's one of my favorite words. It's one of my mentor's favorite words, and she rubbed off on me. And then I also have some emojis here that didn't go through with the PDF form, but I always use the robot arm, and I always use the eye emoji, and I always use the sideways eyes emoji. So those are some things that I always make sure to do. And then finally, language. So when referencing my brand, when talking about my name, I always will say, collect art by CDK LLC. Find us at Art by CDK LLC. Like us, tag us, become a collector of art by CDK LLC. Those are always going to be approved. So any person I hand the internal marketing packet to knows how to type, whether it's a press release or a press kit, some kind of blog, guest I'll be interviewing on a podcast. Like, these are things that I will hand the internal marketing brand book to those people so that they know and don't ever try to refer to my brand as CDK art, because that's not who we are. So it's important that we cover exactly who we are. So really quick, I've got some love in the chat, and I want to say hello. Thank you, Carl. Thank you. Just dropping by to show some support and love. Love the information you're providing. Thank you so much. And yes, Robert, you're getting it, people. You're getting it. Brazen. That's the way to be, okay? That's the way for me to be, at least. So before I cover the pricing, I want to cover one more time just the slides to show you the visuals, okay? And I hope I'm not being redundant, but the nature of the live is that people pop in and pop out. So I just want to make sure everyone who is live gets to see exactly what we've been covering today. And I won't do the whole presentation again. I'm just going to show the visuals so that everyone understands the exact offer that is coming with everything. So here we are again. That is me. And then we have the welcome message for the brand book. You have your corporate colors, the logo, and the typeface, the treatment of the logo and the things to avoid, any considerations. And then I'm asking of you, is this a pain point? In fact, if you're still with me and in the chat, if this is a pain point for your company, don't be shy. Please let me know, because even if it's not aligned for us to work together, I have so many things I want to show you and teach you that's going to help you get yourself and have your team get into a better position with your branding, because I really care. I love all of you so much. I really do. And so again, this is something that Fortune 500 companies always have when scaling. That's the reason why you need one, okay? You already know by now what the heck a Style BRAZEN Brand Book is, so I'm not even gonna go there. I already know you know, and I hope you know by now that I bring character and vitality and energy and life, right? Okay, so here's where I want to stop and go back over the deliverables, and I'm actually going to pull it up on the other sheet. Actually, no, I'm not, because we've got it right here. So again, name, logo type, typography, corporate colors, brand philosophy, brand assets, language. Half of these are editorial, half of these are visual. The combo package combines them, and it's the one that you're going to want to use because it's the one that offers you the most value. So really quickly before I wrap up, I'll go over the offers. And this is where anyone chime in with any kinds of questions, okay? Because it's really important that I give you space to answer anything that you might need to know. And I want to be able to make sure that you feel as though I was able to do that in this time that we have together, okay? So the editorial package, we've got our brand philosophy, our name, and language, okay? Let me move the caption so you can see the prices better. The turnaround time is 2 weeks. The total is $2,222.22. And then I've got the visual package, which is the logo type suite, corporate colors, brand assets. The turnaround time is 3 weeks, and the total is $3,333.33. The combo package is everything you could possibly need for your branding to hand off to your internal marketing packet to anyone that you're working with, creative agencies, employees, assistants, anyone. And this is going to be a turnaround time of 4 weeks. And depending on where you're at with your branding, it could be a lot sooner. It just depends on the level of back and forth with the consultations that might be needed. And I'm happy to do as many as are necessary until you and your team are feeling absolutely confident. That's one of the reasons why Annie, especially when, who I'm doing VP of branding for the company, that's why she loves working with me, because I always will go back and forth in patience to make sure that everyone's happy. 4 weeks turnaround time, $4,444.44. Okay. And with that, you're saving yourself over $1,000. You're saving $1,111.11 just to be able to go ahead and invest and have everything all at once. Because trust me, it's not only more expensive to do A and then B, or B and then A. It's actually a pain in your butt. And what we're looking for here is to alleviate any of the issues that you're having and the stressors that come with branding, because it can be so stressful. I see so many of you having anxiety attack. Like, this is really real, like having anxiety attacks, not being able to sleep, feeling like you're all alone when you're so not. And in fact, this is supposed to be the fun part. Okay, this is supposed to be the fun part of building your company. You're supposed to be able to enjoy this process of like, who are we and how do we talk about ourselves and how do we want to be represented? What do we want to look like? Like, what are the colors? What are the textures? This should be fun. If it's not fun, I would go out on a limb to say you're working with the wrong people. And if you think I'm just trying to sell to you, which is totally natural in this day and age, please don't even take my word for it, which you definitely can do. But look at the people I've worked with. I just posted a video last night that Felicia and Annie had been talking about me and my branding services. And she shares, Annie, saying that she wasted so much time and money, and energy. That's the part that really, really gets me. Not only did she waste her time and her money, but her energy on just not aligning with the person who she was entrusting with her baby. Like, our business is our child. It's a part of us. We wake up, we think about it, we go to sleep, we want to make sure it's being nurtured. Like, these are important things. And the very, very last thing I want to ever do is have anyone I care about feeling uncomfortable around something as important as their identity. And that goes so much deeper than branding. And there is a real art to it. And that's why for me, being brazen is the most important. Being bold, being without shame. Because if you're enjoying the process, shame has no way of touching you. EPEC! Hello! I'm so excited for the meditation next week. I hope you saw my comment. I can you believe I actually fell asleep on a Zoom last night? I woke up and my computer was still open and the lamp was on. And I woke up smiling because it wasn't a work meeting. It was a Zoom artist workshop. But I can't believe I did that. I mean, I've come close before to dozing up, but I remember outright falling asleep for the night and then woke up at 6 a.m. So needless to say, I needed a little bit more rest. And I'm glad you saw that video of Felicia and Annie's, and I'm just excited to be working with you all. This team is incredible, and thank you all for your support so much. I also want to show you one thing that is branding related before I go. And by the way, thank you all so much for all of the love and for all of your questions, whether it was on this live or in the DMs or in the past live covering this topic. Look, I got new business cards, and they are very surreal and avant-garde and provocateur. And I'm so excited because this scans directly to my website. And some of you have maybe heard me tell this story before. Why is it so hard to get it right? Okay, there we go. Some of you have maybe heard me tell this story before, but obviously, you know, I'm committed to my brand. I tattooed this in 2016 when I decided to go in on my own. And I am actually going to be tattooing the QR code to my website because it's brazen, number one, but also this is something I've had this goal to tattoo this right here on my arm since I was 16, because how cool is that? I'll be a robot person. Anyway, I don't want to get too off topic before we go. Very modern looking business card. Love that you love it. I'm glad you like it. But yeah, I'll have them to hand out to people, of course, but I'm really excited to just have it with me everywhere I go and to show that, like, this brand is so much more than just a brand to me. This brand, my brand, Art by CDK LLC, is going to evolve. It's going to change. It will become something completely different, I'm sure, by the time I'm done here. But it will have lived on with a life of its own because of the nurturing and the care and the character that I brought to it and the commitment, the consistency. And so If that's not an effective way of communicating to you my dedication, I really don't know what is. I do know that it is quite the effective way of communicating my dedication and my genuine love for anything that I do. So just know that if you're considering working with me on your branding, that is what you're going to get 100% of the way. I want to bring your brand to life and bring vitality to you, because prosperity is something to be found here. It's right there. It's within your reach. Just let it come. So thank you all so much. I had to get a little bit spiritual on you. Thank you again for all of your congratulations for my new role as Vice President of Branding at Soul Center. It's been an amazing experience so far. Thank you for being a part of my network. Make yourself known if you're watching the playback. And if you're still with me at this point, just know I've got a lot of love for you. Love, always.